And welcome back to AM Northwest this morning. You know, many people love energy drinks, believing that they are a safe, healthy boost when they're feeling sluggish. But our next guests say they're just the opposite. Here to explain, we're happy to welcome back to AM Northwest the authors of the Metabolic Makeover. It's all about energy research scientist Stephen Cherniske and board-certified physician Natalie Kather. Nice to have you both here.
Thanks.
I know I got the names wrong, but we'll work that out later. I am not a fan of energy drinks. I will tell you that off the top. It seems to me that you're fighting something that's going on in your body and you're not doing it naturally. Is that accurate?
It's accurate in that the energy drinks are just stimulants.
Yeah.
And a stimulant is not real energy. Natalie often says, you know, if I slap you in the face, it'll improve your mental clarity temporarily, but that's not real energy, and that's what these are.
Now, you brought some examples here. These are products you say that have been banned.
Right, mahuang, which was a stimulant that's related to caffeine that was used for years and in ever-increasing doses. Finally, the FDA in 2004 said, hey, you can't do that. This is harmful, it's dangerous. So all these products, and this is just a handful, there were hundreds of products, Dave, that were like really giving people an enormous amount of stimulant. And so those were banned in 2004. Then,
and what's interesting about that, but I'm looking at, you know, nice packaging. This one's got a box with a label and everything. Yeah. You would think because it's packaged so well, it's got to be perfectly safe.
But it's not, because caffeine is what? Caffeine's a drug.
Yeah.
Right? And we often say, well, Natalie has this saying with her patients.
Yeah, imagine that I'm writing this prescription for a drug and the side effects are risks of elevated blood pressure, insomnia, ulcer, allergy problems.
Depletes minerals.
Yeah. And then the client says, as they're about to leave, well, how much of this can I take? And I say, as much as you want.
Yeah, right.
And that's what's happening with caffeine.
Do people get addicted to it? We have some others here that are more commonly now available, still on the market, but are they addictive to people?
Caffeine addiction is a real phenomenon, and also tolerance. So you start with a low dose of caffeine, you know, an energy drink that gives you maybe 30, 40 milligrams of caffeine, and then before you know it, your body tolerates that. So now to get the same jolt, right? Then you have to go to a higher potency. So now you got 92 milligrams of caffeine, and then you've got combinations of stimulants. So now you got caffeine and guarana. Guarana has more caffeine than coffee beans, right? So again, manufacturers are loading up their products with ever-increasing amounts of caffeine, and guess what? You don't have to disclose the amount of caffeine in your product.
You just say caffeine, and you mentioned, you know, there are other types of caffeine, so it won't just say caffeine.
Right, and a lot of times the consumer will pick up something that contains this contains guarana and mate, right? So the person looks at this, goes, well, this doesn't contain caffeine, and yet this contains the equivalent of 3 cups of coffee.
So what should people, one, coffee, I mean, I drink coffee in the morning, a lot of people drink coffee, so is a little bit of caffeine okay? Is it just the overdosing of caffeine in some of these drinks? Where does caffeine cross the line?
Well, 50% of the population are rapid metabolizers, and they do fine with caffeine. But for the other 50%, which are slow metabolizers, that caffeine can accumulate in their body, and then they're more likely to experience issues of elevated blood pressure, difficulty sleeping at night, and then they wake up tired, and they think they need more caffeine, and they get into this terrible cycle.
Well, you guys talk about, you know, there are other ways to boost your energy. Exercise is one suggestion you have, right? How much exercise to replace one of these drinks?
Well, the ideal is regular, consistent exercise during the day. But what we're talking about in our book is, hey, you know, most people use these beverages because they can't get themselves into this exercise routine. What we're saying in the book is, hey, look, you can make more energy. You can help your body make more energy, and the only safe way to experience greater energy is to make it yourself.
And that's why when I was exercising more regularly, I didn't drink as much coffee in the morning.
It makes sense.
All right, so for people, consumers who think, okay, I want something that I think is good for me, what advice do you have for them? They can't research every ingredient, can they, or should they?
Well, you wean yourself off, first of all, because it's a drug. Right? Caffeine is a drug, which means that it has an appropriate use, and everything is dose-related. What we're seeing here is that people are consuming massive, especially kids, consuming massive amounts of these beverages. They increase risk for sports injuries. We know that. Coaches and trainers are telling us that their athletes are becoming injured far more these days because the kids are amped up on these drinks.
You brought some examples of healthier versions, and as you explain these to me, I want you to break down the difference between stress and energy, because for a lot of people, they feel like the same thing, don't they?
They do, but my point is, if you weren't paying attention when you were coming to the studio this morning and you almost got hit by a bus, right? You'd be really alert after that, but you'd never say, gee, I think I'll do that 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Right? So stress is not energy, even though it temporarily increases mental clarity. It is not real energy. Real energy comes from the cells in your body making it.
All right, let's talk about these very quickly. We have about 30 seconds left. But
all right.
We call these metabolic modifiers. They help the muscles do a better job at burning fat, and fat is where the best energy comes from. We have muscles, 60% of which are above the waistline, and 70% of our body's energy comes from our muscles. So getting our muscles to burn fat is key.
And a lot of these do exactly that, Dave. They trigger the metabolic shift from burning just glucose to burning fat, which means you have more energy, your exercise tolerance dramatically improves, which means exercise becomes easier and more enjoyable, and then you get into a cycle where you're having more energy, so you move more, so you have more energy, and that's the basis of what we call real energy.
Very good. The book is The Metabolic Makeover, and we'll have a link on our website, folks, to find out more about it. Thanks, guys. Always good to see you. It's always good information. Nice to have you here.